In the Constanta region of Romania, a cave has been discovered that has been cut off from the world for 500,000 years. This underground bubble formed when the Black Sea emptied into the Mediterranean.
I've been here first in my life in 1986 doing some geological survey. My mission was to see if this land is able to support a big thermoelectrical power plant. And I was suspicious that this land can do that because you see this large depression. That's an indication, but it was a collapse, and that was produced because there are caves and karstic voids beneath. And they were indeed. We discovered these caves, and later we discovered that this cave is also a unique oasis of biodiversity.
When scientists realized the importance of Movile, they sealed the only access with an airlock that preserves the cavern's extraordinary ecosystem.
Here we are on the bottom of the 18 meters deep artificial shaft dug by miners. And this is glass fiber lid which separates the natural cave from the outside environment. It's like a frontier.
After the access door, we enter a mineral desert. No water seeps in here. We can find no trace of organic matter, be it plant or animal. Totally sealed caverns like these of Movile are extremely rare. They are the result of a very specific geological structure.
If you look everywhere in Movile Cave, you don't see stalactites, you don't see dripping points, you don't see seeping water. Why? Because exists such a clay, very fine clay, which is able to seal all the cracks of the limestone. And we are not very deep, only 20 meters beneath the surface, but the water can't penetrate till here. So the cave is like an isolated volume. We could prove that using different methods, and the most convincing, the most spectacular was this of Chernobyl catastrophe. We were 6 years after Chernobyl catastrophe. Romania was plenty of isotopes like strontium, cesium. You can find them everywhere, but not in Movile Cave. Aoleu, Vlad, chiar așa. Da, da. Ia, mă zic. Ah, ce frumusețe e, mă.
Nu, e frumos la.
There is a tiny underground lake in Movile, but its water doesn't come from the surface. It is fed by one of the region's many hydrothermal springs. The concentration of hydrogen sulfide in these waters is so high that the sulfur content in the fumes crystallizes and settles on the walls.
This small lake was the end of my first exploration in the cave. When I reached that place, I felt the smell of hydrogen sulfide. I realized that it's something special. And the next big surprise was to see how many animals are moving around, like centipedes, spiders, leeches, and so. From here come the first big question. What all these animals eat?
Here, as elsewhere in the underground world, we must work our way back up the food chain and find the ecosystem's energy base. In Movile, the answer could only lie at the bottom of the lake. A succession of sumps affords access to a series of small cavities.
After we dive in the first lake, and we go to the second lake, to the third lake, we face an atmosphere progressively enriched in carbon dioxide. In water, there is no oxygen at all. You know, that's only first quarter of millimeters at surface is water with oxygen. And down, all water is without oxygen. Why? Because any kind of trace of oxygen should be immediately transformed in reaction with hydrogen sulfide. But we have aquatic fauna in this water without oxygen at all.
How does all this fauna thrive in the total absence of light and oxygen, and in an atmosphere saturated in hydrogen sulfide, a very toxic gas? The solution to the puzzle is found at the water's surface, which develops a thin bacterial film. It consists of bacteria, fungi, and protozoa, which constitute the beginning of the food chain. The bacteria oxidize the hydrogen sulfide present in the atmosphere and in the cave water. This is called chemosynthesis, and in Movile, it can be considered the equivalent of photosynthesis, allowing surface plants and algae to use the sun's energy to manufacture organic matter. In Movile, the energy source at the base of the food chain is not light, but chemical.
Exactly like grass at surface is the base of trophic chain, because herbivores eat the grass and carnivores eat the herbivores. In Movile, we have that chemoautotrophic cream, which is eaten by small animals like worms and snails, so-called the primary grazers, and other animals are eating them. And to the top of the pyramid, we have the carnivores, aquatic like the water scorpion, Nepa, and Hemopis checa, the leech, and terrestrial like centipedes and spiders.
Thus, 30 new species cut off from our world have been discovered in Movile.